The woods had always felt older at night. Not frightening, not haunted, just awake. Pine trunks stood like black pillars beneath a cold moon, and the earth breathed mist through roots and stone. Somewhere far off, water moved over rock in a steady whisper, the kind of sound most people never hear because their minds are too loud. Elias heard everything. The scrape of bark, the settling of wet leaves, the tiny crack of frost forming on dead branches. He walked deeper into the woodland with his coat hanging open and his breathing uneven. His boots slid through mud as though the earth itself was trying to hold him back. "Not tonight," he muttered. But he already knew. The change had begun hours ago. It always started small, a strange sharpness in the air, colors becoming colder, sounds separating themselves into layers. Then came the smell. God, the smell. Humans never understood how blind they truly were. To a man, the forest is mostly darkness. To him now, it was alive with signatures. Fox trails woven through fern, rotting bark releasing damp sweetness, rainwater trapped in moss, the metallic scent of distant deer blood from an old wound half a mile away. Every tree carried history. Every gust of wind carried information. Elias staggered against a pine trunk as pain gripped his spine. A crack echoed through the woods. He gasped. His fingers clawed into the bark as bone shifted beneath flesh like machinery forcing itself into a new shape. The moonlight trembled through branches overhead. Then came another crack. His shoulder. He fell to one knee, breathing hard, trying to remain human for just a few moments longer. But humanity was already slipping. Not mentally at first. Sensory. That was the true horror. People always imagined claws and teeth. They never imagined hearing the blood inside their own body. His ears twitched violently. Suddenly, the woodland exploded into sound. Thousands of movements. Beetles beneath bark. Owls rotating their heads in silence. Tiny feet tunneling beneath soil. A rabid heartbeat pulsing somewhere to his left. He froze. That heartbeat, so delicate, so rapid. His mouth watered instantly. No. His voice no longer sounded entirely human. The hunger arrived next. Not ordinary hunger. Not the mild ache of missing a meal. This was primal. Ancient. A need written deep inside marrow and nerve endings. His teeth sharpened painfully as his jaw pushed outward with wet cracking sounds. He screamed. Or tried to. What emerged was something between a roar and an animal cry. Birds burst from nearby trees. The woodland reacted. That was another thing humans never understood. Animals know. Before the transformation even completes, the forest knows what is coming. Foxes vanish first. Then deer. Then silence spreads outward like ripples in water. Elias collapsed onto his side, writhing as muscles tore and rebuilt themselves. His spine arched upward violently. Ribs expanded. Hands twisted. Nails blackened into curved claws that dug trenches into wet earth. And through all the agony came clarity. Terrible clarity. His eyesight changed. The darkness disappeared. Not because the woods became brighter, but because darkness itself stopped existing. Shapes emerged in silver gradients. Heat signatures floated faintly between trunks. Movement became impossible to miss. A moth, beating its wings, looked as obvious as a bird crossing daylight skies. The world humans inhabited suddenly seemed crippled and incomplete, like they moved through fog their entire lives without realizing it. He inhaled deeply. The air itself became visible inside his mind. He could map the woodland from scent alone now. There was stagnant water to the north, dead crow nearby, fungi blooming inside an old fallen tree. A man once stood beside that tree 2 days earlier carrying petrol and tobacco. Impossible information, yet completely natural to the beast emerging beneath his skin. Another crack. His legs reversed shape. He roared again as tendons stretched and snapped into new alignment. The pain should have driven him insane. But something else was happening. Something seductive. The human mind was weakening. And with it came relief. No bills, no regrets, no memories replaying at 2 a.m., no shame, no endless questioning, only instinct, only now. The beast did not worry about tomorrow. It simply existed. Elias crawled forward through the mud as fur spread rapidly across his back and shoulders. His breathing deepened. The smell of the rabbit returned. Closer now. He lifted his head slowly. There, 300 feet away beneath tangled roots. The animal was frozen, motionless. Humans would never have found it. But the wolf within him could hear terror itself, a heartbeat stuttering beneath soil. His pupils widened, and for one horrifying second, he wanted the hunt. Not out of cruelty, not anger, but because predators are designed for precision. The same way fire is designed to burn. The beast rose slowly onto elongated limbs, towering now, half man, half something older. Moonlight filtered through pine branches and touched wet black fur. Steam drifted from its mouth. Its ears rotated independently, scanning the woodland with impossible awareness. Then it listened deeper, far beyond normal hearing, beyond the forest itself. Roads, engines, distant farms, dogs barking miles away, a child coughing in a cottage somewhere beyond the hills. The world had become immense, overwhelming. Every sound entering him at once. The creature snarled and pressed clawed hands against its skull. Too much. Far too much. That was the curse no story ever tells. Enhanced senses are not gifts. They are invasions. Humans are deaf for a reason, blind for a reason, limited for mercy. But now the beast could feel the entire woodland breathing around it. Sap rising through trees, mice beneath roots, rain approaching 30 minutes before it arrived. Even the wind carried emotional texture, fear, decay, life. The wolf slowly lowered its arms. Then came a new smell. Human, very faint. A camper perhaps. Male, middle-aged, sweat soaked into wool clothing. Cheap whiskey, old blood from a healing cut. The beast's lips curled back instantly. Predatory focus narrowed its world. Every tree between them became mapped inside its head. Every possible route, distance, wind direction. The man had no idea death was already studying him. And suddenly, Elias returned. Just for a second. A flicker behind the eyes. No. The creature trembled violently. Human thought, battling instinct. It staggered backward into darkness. Claws digging into mud. It remembered who it was, or had been. A welder. A husband once. A man who enjoyed quiet mornings and strong tea. Now reduced to this thing hiding among trees. The wolf tilted its head toward the moon. And something strange happened. Not rage, not triumph, sadness. Because the beast understood something humans rarely do. Freedom and loneliness often arrive together. To become something untamed means leaving the world behind. No warm houses, no gentle conversations, no ordinary life. Only forest, only instinct, only endless night. Rain began falling softly through the pines. The wolf stood motionless as droplets soaked its fur. Then, silently, it turned away from the scent of the camper, a final fragment of humanity winning the battle. For tonight, the creature moved deeper into the woodland with impossible grace, vanishing between ancient trees as though the forest itself had swallowed it whole. And somewhere far behind, a rabbit finally dared to breathe again.